Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Baddies South Season 2, Episode 6. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Let's just get right into this episode because there was a lot that went down. So Natalie got mad because she was trying to talk to all the other ladies on the bus, and Krishan was having a little side conversation with Jela, and this pissed Natalie off because she felt like she was being disrespected. And this is why I said that I don't like her being an executive producer and her being a part of the cast, because she feels like she's in charge of everything and nobody can ever confront her and everybody has to just bow down to her all the time, and that doesn't make for an entertaining show. So I really didn't like that about this episode. And Natalie starts spazzing out. She tells the bus driver to pull over, and she gets out the bus and she's spazzing out outside, calling Krishan all types of bitches. And honestly, it was really weak of Natalie, because if she really had a problem with Krishan, she should have called her all those bitches to her face. Because if it was anybody who she thought that she could have gotten away with talking to that way and she didn't think that they would put hands on her, she would have said it to them like she's done to people in the past. But because she knows that Krishan is a loose cannon and that she will flip on her, that's the reason why she didn't say that stuff to Krishan's face. Now, Krishan kind of got a bit emotional in the bus, but I think it was because she was kind of drunk and she was saying that Natalie was being mean to her. And if you saw season 4 of the Bad Girls Club, you know that that's exactly how Natalie is. She kind of finds somebody who's desperate for attention or somebody who really wants to be in the spotlight and who may be a little bit younger than her, and she takes them under her wing and then she tries to talk to them any kind of way. If you saw that season, you see that she did that with Kendra a few times, and so it's not surprising to me that Natalie was acting that way when it comes to Krishan and a lot of the other ladies on this season. Now, Natalie, with her phony self, ends up going to the front of the bus with Anne, and she starts talking all types of shit and trying to get on Anne's good side. Now, I am not a fan of Anne, but one of the things that I like about her is that she always sees through somebody's bullshit, because in her interview, she was talking about how she knew that Natalie was being fake and how she thought that it was phony that Natalie didn't go say all this stuff to Krishan's face, and we know why Natalie didn't. Rollie decides to go to the front of the bus where Anne is sitting by herself, and she goes over there and she apologizes to her for putting her hands on her. And listen, if you saw the altercation between Rollie and Anne, you can tell that Rollie never wanted to put her hands on Anne, but Anne just likes to push people and push people and push people until you lose it on her. And so that's what ended up happening between her and Rollie, but you could tell that Rollie didn't want it to go to that level, and so she decided to apologize to her. And Anne accepts the apology and she apologized back to Rollie, but I feel like the two of them are going to end up getting into it again at some point because Anne just cannot help herself. Now, finally, they go to the club. This is crazy to me because of the fact that we're on episode 6 and they're just now going out. And that's weird because we're not used to that. Us BGC fans, we're used to seeing them go to the club in the very first episode. And that's where you really learn how the story is going to go, because there's a storyline built on the Bad Girls Club. And most of it starts at that very first night when they go out to the club. You see who's in alliance with who has issues with who's going to be the problem in the house, who's going to be public enemy number 1 in the house. Those are all the things that you learn in the very first episode when they go out to the club. So it's strange to me that Zeus has had them in this house for like a week now and they haven't even gone to the club once. But they were having a really good time at this club, and it was actually nice to see them get along and party together for once. I actually kind of like Scotty in the sense that she's the type of person who you can go out to the club with and she'll be a good time. It's not going to be any drama, it's not going to be any fighting. So she really did show that she could turn up at the club and it not be any drama. So I kind of like her in that sense. But Rollie kind of put her on blast a little bit in her interview, because she said that when they went to this club that nobody there knew who Scotty was. So how does Scotty run North Carolina? And I thought that was kind of funny, but I feel like, Scotty is probably just trying to do what Natalie did and make her name for herself by saying that she runs North Carolina, just like Natalie kind of made a name for herself in season 4 of Bad Girls Club when she went around all the time saying that she runs LA. So I feel like that's maybe what Scotty is trying to do. They end up going out in North Carolina one last time to Club Cloud because Obviously, Scotty claims that she knows all the clubs and all the hottest spots to go to, and her friend was having a birthday party, and so she invited all the ladies to go to it. Now, when they get on the bus, Anne decides to apologize to both Bree and Persuasion because she felt like it was wrong to jump on Persuasion like that for no reason, and she also felt like maybe she was kind of picking on Bree a little bit. And I wasn't surprised that they accepted her apology because they probably don't want to get into any more physical altercations, although we know that's not going to happen. But I know that Anne probably didn't really genuinely mean those apologies that she gave. I feel like maybe she gave those apologies because she's tired of being the odd man out, and that's the reason why she did it. And so now she's no longer sitting at the front of the bus. She decides to sit with all the rest of the ladies in the back of the bus. Now, when they get to the club, they are turning up. Krishan and Scotty are making out. Bree and Anne are making out. And that's why I feel like Anne probably started this trouble with Bree, just because she wanted to kind of make a name for herself on the season. And honestly, it was smart of her. For somebody who says that she's a clout chaser, she knew exactly what to do to gain the clout that she needed, because this season has been all about Krishan and Anne. And so, I mean, Anne did what she was supposed to do. She made the whole show based around herself. While they're at the club partying, a casket is being brought out, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it sounds like the Undertaker's music is about to play, and I'm like, what are they doing? And Persuasion comes popping out of the casket, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, it is not giving what she thought it was going to give. It was not at all. It was actually really weird and strange that she would even lay inside of a casket and pop out of it, especially at a club. That was just really strange to me. But it was actually fun watching them at the club, and hopefully we see more episodes of them going out, because seeing them just sitting in the house is boring on this show, because they kind of drag out one conversation for an entire episode. The Bad Girls Club, it was actually more entertaining watching them in the house together, but on this show, they need to be out, because it is not that fun to watch when they're sitting inside of the house. Now, the next day, they were packing to leave because they needed to go to Nashville, Tennessee, and they were waiting all day long. They were all packed and ready to go, and they really didn't know what was going on. And production ends up calling Natalie outside, and they tell her that the Baddies bus is gone. The driver doesn't want to do business with them anymore. He felt like they were doing too much on his bus, and so he decided to leave them stranded. And so production tells Natalie that she needs to get the girls together so that they can work out whatever issues that they have, so that when the next bus comes, they don't have any more drama, so that they don't end up stranded again. And so all the ladies get called outside by Natalie, and she basically tells them what happened with them being stranded. And so the ladies start addressing their issues that they have with each other. And Slim starts addressing Krishan because Krishan threw a water bottle at her at the club, and she didn't like that because she felt like, Krishan was doing too much. And so Slim ends up taking her shoes off, and she throws them in the direction of Krishan, and she runs up on her, and the two of them start fighting. Now, I don't feel like it was actually a fight. The two of them were locking their hands into each other's hair, so they were really just hair pulling. So to me, nobody won that fight because they didn't really get to fight, really, if that makes any sense. But I have to say, I give it up to Slim, because anybody who's willing to fight, even if they don't know if they're going to win or not, I have to give props to, because she did run up to fight her, and Natalie didn't do that. Natalie just ran outside and was talking shit about Krishan, but she definitely didn't run up on her. And so I definitely give Slim props for, fighting even if she was going to lose the fight, because you never know. They might fight in the next episode and she might actually lose, but at least she was willing to fight, and she didn't just lay there like a punk and not do anything. Now, while the two of them had gotten into a fight, they got pulled apart pretty quickly, so they were no longer fighting. And so Rollie goes up to Krishan, and she's like, okay, so you want to fight? And Jela had an issue with that because she said that she didn't want any jumping going on, although I don't know where she got jumping from, because if Krishan and Slim just fought and they got pulled apart and they're away from each other, it's not jumping anybody. But I can understand that she doesn't want somebody to get tag teamed, and so Rollie and Jela start arguing with each other. So because Jela had an issue with Rollie going to Krishan to fight after Slim just fought her, the two of them start arguing with each other, and Rollie tells Jela that she's been talking trash about Krishan, so she doesn't understand why she's jumping in to try to defend her. And we know that Jela has talked shit about Krishan. Her and Natalie have been talking trash about everybody this season. They've been really messy. And although I'm not really a fan of Jela, I do know that in her season she was known for fighting, and she wasn't bad at it. So So the two of them start arguing with each other. Rollie ends up ripping her entire wig off her head to fight Jela. And everybody keeps saying that Jela won the fight, but we didn't even get to see the fight. So even if Jela did win, we ain't gonna know until the next episode. So honestly, I don't really care who wins the fight at all. I just feel like it's entertaining to watch. So I don't really care who wins and who don't win. But at the end of the day, the two of them are gonna fight in the next episode. And then they showed some shit where Jela and Natalie might get into it, and you could tell that that's fake, because you know the two of them are friends and they probably planned that shit with production for the two of them to get into it to try to make the season more interesting. So to me, that whole thing with Natalie and Jela that's supposed to happen in the next episode is definitely going to be fake. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies South. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate it so much. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.